Is NBA 2K actually dying? Now that we're a few months into 2K25, I feel like this is a good time to talk about the game and question the franchise in general. Real quick though, I want to know your guys' first 2K game that you ever played, and are you still playing to this day? Now look, the game that I fell in love with as a kid was whichever one had Kevin Garnett on the cover. I think it was like 2K9. My dad, he was a gamer. He got me into basketball and gaming. He's still a gamer to this day. And I always played Play Now Online against my dad, against my friends growing up. And then I was a My Career head. Back when LeBron was on the Heat, I tried to go 82-0 in my career with D Wade and LeBron. But my first online love for the game was my team. Many people don't know that. That's what got me into everything. 2K13, 2K14, the switch from last gen to next gen, how amazing it was. Trying to get pink diamond locker codes. If you were there, you were there. Good times. Watching Jesser the Laser, Chris Smooth, Solo Minotti. I mean, all these legends. And it's just a different time, right? But now, I'm a park player who every year I still go to Play Now Online, what made me fall in love with 2K in the very beginning, to get the GOAT status in the mode that made me really get into the game, you know? So look, today I've got a bunch of topics, 6 or 7 that I really want to get into. And then you guys, of course, can leave your opinions down below. I would love to see them. I read every single comment. Please do that. So the first one is going to be the 2K cycle. We're going to explain every single reason I think 2K isn't doing as good, or people don't feel like it's doing as good as a game, as viewership, whatever it is. The first one, though, is the 2K cycle. Every single year now, 2K, they promote a game. They do really good with their promotion. They get people to think this is the all new shiny product. It's going to be so much better than the last year. And then usually for most people, in about a month, about 2 months maybe, the honeymoon phase wears off. People start to see the game for what it is. People start to figure out how to cheese more, how to exploit whatever they can do to win more, which makes people who aren't doing that not have fun when they play against people like that, which demotivates them to play the game. Basically, the 2K cycle ends in about a month or 2 these days. You know, people play for about a month, maybe 2, and then they move on to something else like Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto, you know, lots of other things. So the 2K cycle is 100% real, and people will not play for 10 months, 11 months, but every September they come back. A lot of them, not everybody. But anyway, the second one though is external factors. Okay, so if you guys haven't been paying a lot of attention to what's going on around you, okay, which I understand, you know, life is life, you might be busy out there, but gaming in general is not being watched as much on YouTube. It was down about 25% in YouTube's last quarter for viewership in general in gaming. Now, where I think most of those viewers are going is to in real life streamers. They're taking the attention span of most kids under 18, like Kai Cenat, Aiden Ross, XQC. I mean, these guys are consistently, concurrently, which means at one time, pulling, you know, 6 figures worth of people, 100,000, 200,000. And then, of course, throughout the entire stream, there's millions of people that have came in and out. Although it says 100K, they've had millions of people join, leave, and watch. You know what I'm saying? That is where a lot of people's viewership is going. And that's what just people are enjoying more these days. If I was a kid, I'm thinking of myself as a 12-year-old, you know, would I watch Chris Smooth or would I watch Kai Cenat? I don't really know. It's a hard thing to think about. But another one in this external factor is franchise fatigue. Now, this is what I got from Agent Zero. If you guys remember him in the 2K community, OG, legend, shout out to him, man. Put so much into this. And, man, he wanted the game to be so much better than it is today. He would probably be disappointed with a lot of things going on. But franchise fatigue basically just means, you know, 2K is a yearly released product. Every single year, 2K is a basketball game. They're not really going to reinvent the wheel here, guys. Every year it's going to be a basketball game. How much can you change it? This is another problem that many other yearly releases have had, like Call of Duty. Now, I'm not trying to put all the blame on what's going on in Call of Duty on franchise fatigue. If you guys have been watching, there's a lot more. But I myself had some sort of franchise fatigue. At one point with Call of Duty, I probably had more hours played on that game than 2K. I've played since COD 4, guys. COD 4, World at War. Then we just kept going and going. Every year I'm hitting 10th prestige, which is like the max level in the game. I got franchise fatigue, as well as I didn't like the direction and where the company was going. The first one was Call of Duty Ghost. And then we had, you know, the jetpacks and stuff, for those of you that know what's going on with Call of Duty. And it just wasn't my thing, you know what I'm saying? So I took a few years off COD. Sometimes I would even still buy the game, just like the 2K cycle, but I wouldn't play it much. You know, I'd be like, okay, it's a Call of Duty. Because a lot of us are wanting to feel what we used to feel back in the day. You know, you want to get on the game and have fun with this product, the same brand that you've had fun on before, and it's just not the same. A lot of people are experiencing franchise fatigue. Every time you load up, it's gonna be a basketball game. You can't do much more. I mean, you can't, like, they've tried, and I don't even think they should have done that with the city and all. You know, we just want to hoop. Okay, that's my experience. But anyway, players are losing confidence and trust, plus post-launch support. Now, I put these two together because I think it's really interesting, but 2 years in a row, the game has launched with latency issues. Bad. 2K24 was worse than 25. If you guys remember, in 2K24, the game came out and it was miserable in the park. I mean, it was so choppy, laggy, delayed, whatever you want to call it. Both years, though, it has took weeks for 2K to fix. I mean, it takes 14 days, 21 days. I forgot exactly how long it's been, you know. I don't know the exact date, okay? But it takes a long time. First impressions are the most important. We all know this. And imagine every year with all the drama 2K brings around, all the criticism. You load up the game and it's still bad servers. That's your first impression. You load up. Some people don't want to wait 2-3 weeks for that to get fixed. They're already done. That was it. That's all they needed. You know what I'm saying? So it's a problem 2 years in a row. And that just brought it back to normal, quote unquote, normal 2K servers when they fixed it, which are notoriously known for being bad. But that's for a whole nother day. Okay, so both times they fixed it, you guys know we still got chops in the game. You'll still go up for a jump shot and your whole screen freezes. You know what I'm saying? Like, this happens all the time. There's still latency like no other online game, especially for a AAA multi-billion-dollar company. There's too much latency. On no other game do I have to buy a special controller to get less latency. I got a special monitor to get a little bit less latency. I went and bought a new Ethernet cable. Like, there's some games I could play online without an Ethernet cable on a TV instead of a monitor. You can't really do that on 2K. You're just not going to perform as good because of their servers. Now, this year there was a close shot glitch. This is why players are losing confidence and trust in the game. The entire first season, as you guys are seeing, of 2K25, which is about 42 days, there was a close shot exploit. The devs even acknowledged it as an exploit when they fixed it, where basically if you did a close shot, post fade, whatever you want to call it, you could green 11 very tights in a row, and the green window was very huge. It was basically the entire shot. So you could green the shots with your eyes closed for the first 40 days of the game. That's huge to drop a product that's a yearly release game. And once again, with the first impressions, it just is not up to where you should be satisfied at all with the product. Okay, so there is a lot going on right now. This is also a community problem, which we'll have a whole topic for, because it's like, why would you basically use an automatic win button? We're not there yet, though. Proving Grounds is still broken. There's 2 glitches in Proving Grounds. So this is another thing that loses your trust, your confidence in the player base, because they've advertised this new, shiny, ranked mode with the bow on it. You finally get the game, and it's been broken this entire year. Guys, it might be fixed by the time I say it. Hopefully by the time I upload this, they got some sort of patch notes for season 4 and they've got it in there that they're fixing it. But for the first 3 seasons of the game, and they're probably not going to fix it, but 3 seasons, approximately 135 days, 130 days, somewhere in there since the release of 2K25. We are now in a completely different year than it was that the game was dropped. You can still dashboard in the proving grounds before the game ends, and it doesn't give you a loss on the leaderboards. There are people, and I'm going to pop them up, I have it on the screen for you guys so you can see the proof. There are people with 19 win percents in the top 15, 22 win percents. So you will see that there's a guy, I think in the 2v2 or the 3v3, where he has like a 94 win percent and he's ranked number 1. That's how you know that the guy has not been doing this glitch. All you have to do is close that before the ball goes in on the last shot, and it will move down your win percent if you're on the leaderboard. So you can see your win percent go down, but not your actual leaderboard rank, your proving grounds rank. You see what I'm saying? So that is insane. The whole mode is completely worthless. Every time, if you want to be in the top 5, the top 10, you have to close the app before you lose. It's ridiculous, guys. In season 1, I had like a 94 win percentage in proving grounds. In the 2v2 proving grounds, I didn't even finish. I think I was like 23, 24, something like that. There was people ahead of me that weren't even nearly deserving what I got. I put in like 280 games or 300 games, something like that, and didn't get anything for it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because of the glitch. There's another glitch in proving grounds where you can glitch off your rank. So if you're a high rank, like a gold rank or a diamond rank, you can glitch off your rank, which, by the way, lets you play people that are unranked. You see what I'm saying? So the whole point of proving grounds is to go in there, and as you rise, right, just like any other ranked mode, you're now going to play against people around your skill level, especially as you get closer and closer to the top. Let's say you're a diamond rank, okay? The game is going to try to match you up against other diamond players. Well, now those diamond ranked players can just glitch off their rank and play people that aren't ranked. Now, that doesn't mean that they're necessarily terrible at the game because they're not ranked. It does reset every season. The ranks do reset every single season. However, obviously, you're more likely to play people that aren't as good when you reset or you glitch off your rank. So there's 2 glitches in proving grounds that have been in the game the entire year. The newest mode, one of the biggest advertisements for 2K25, still does not work. Okay, that's not good. Post-launch support. Where is our fix on that? How in the hell is it not fixed yet? Now, patches changing gameplay. We all know this. If you played 2K, every single year the game drops and it's never the same by the time the game ends. Now, obviously, we need to get fixes out there of exploits like the close shot glitch. For 2 or 3 years now, that's the only thing I really focus on. I don't say, hey guys, I think that steals are a little too good. Let's nerf them a little bit. Hey guys, I think steals are a little too bad. Let's buff them. No, I only try to focus on something that is obvious. 99% of people are going to agree that needs to go. You know what I'm saying? So we understand when exploits are taken out, but the gameplay in general is changed. And we know that for sure that 2K can go in there and hot fix changes. There doesn't even have to be a patch on your console. It just is a update required, restart, go back to the main menu. Now, every time you see that, that doesn't mean that's what they're doing, by the way, but players know when there's changes. RNG, okay? Random number generator. Why would the players have confidence and trust in 2K when RNG is the worst it's ever been in 2K history? Okay, the game is picking and deciding you've made 3 shots in a row, now you have to miss. You have a 95% chance to miss this shot because you've made too many in a row. You can go 7 for 7. Okay, some people are like, oh, I went just 8 for 8 one time, RNG's not real. No, you just rolled the dice and it gave it to you. Okay, you got lucky. It's happened. You can do that. Forced momentum changes. We've all experienced this if you play Rec especially. you see the momentum literally being forced. You start missing open shots that you know you timed correctly. The other team hasn't been hitting anything the whole game. Now they're hitting lightly contests. Now they're picking up steals. Now they're getting blocks like from way behind. We know the game has a rubber band literally to keep a team in the game. Now, you're going to beat this team usually anyway, but the game kind of brings it back to like a 5-point game. You know, you're up 20, you're up 30 at halftime. All of a sudden, it's a 5-point game. You didn't really do anything different than what you've been doing in the first half. But let's go back to RNG, though. Of course, that's one of the biggest topics in 2K25. We talked about this in the last video, in the last news video, that RNG isn't as bad as some people think, but it is as bad. So there's people, you know, that are shooting 25% from 3 and they're blaming RNG. No, buddy, you're just not good. Okay, it's okay. It's okay to be not good at the game, but blaming it on something that is not the truth, no, not good. Okay, do not cope with that. Don't just sit there every time you miss, you go 0 for 7, buddy. That's not RNG, okay? However, RNG will keep you at a certain percent. There's a reason there is not a single human being on this game, and I'll just give you guys a good example. There are literal cheaters on this game, which is another topic. There are cheaters on this game, and they do not shoot any better than about 70-75% from 3. All they do is dex around, LT, which we'll talk about in a minute, off Legend Dimer, taking shots in their lethals with jump shot boost with 99 3-point, and they still can only shoot 70-75% from 3. You see what I'm saying? Now, you might be like, oh, that's a good thing because then the cheaters can't shoot 100%. Yeah, 1% of the players should not be changed for 99%. We're being penalized for cheaters for 1% of the 2K community, which we're going to talk about. The regular player should not be penalized for this. Now, the next one, though, is the community. Now, we just hinted at that, of course, but check out this 1v1 Proving Grounds gameplay right here that I was playing the other day. This guy, he's got 399 stats. He purposely made a build that's a small forward, not a power forward or a center, because if you're a power forward or a center in Proving Grounds, then you're going to play power forwards and centers. I never play them in Proving Grounds on my small forward build, and it's 6'10". You know, I got a 6'9" as well. What he does is he either, one, does a post spin off of you, right? So you get that animation, it throws you off, and then he has a wide open layup or a dunk. Or if you sit back to not get post spin on, he does a post fade. That's it. That's his entire gameplay. 99 strength and stuff, just moving you out the way. That's it. That's insane. That's actually crazy that people load up just to try to be as exploitive as possible. Now, the next one, though, is a really big topic in 2K right now in the inside of the community, and that's 2v2 dexing, okay? So LT, cheese, dexing, whatever you want to call it. Now, look, dexing is not necessarily tied exactly to LT cheesing and stuff, right? But, you know, a lot of people think that dexing shouldn't even be in the game, and I kind of understand that. But these people are taking it to a whole nother level. I'm sure most of you have seen, but basically the center holds LT, and you're going to get stuck. The guards running left and right, left and right. These guys got 99 speed, 99 agility, legend slippery off ball, just going left, right, while the center is holding LT and trying to get the guard stuck. Now, you might say, okay, well, then the center can play sides. Well, then the guard's just going to shoot a heavily contested. If it's heavily contested, then they're just going to catch and shoot if the center is not, you know, down, right? And the center has 99 rebound on the other team. They're just going to go down and get the rebound. It's one of the most exploitive ways to play 2K. It's like having a lockdown and a pure post in other 2Ks. Basically, you could say, oh, just, you know, go play rec. But most people don't have 4 other teammates to form a squad. And as most of you know, playing with randoms can be worse than, you know, the girl who told you she was going to sleep at 8 p.m. on New Year's. Give it up. Give it up. There's another side of the community that acts like there isn't anything wrong with the game. It has issues. If you get on and have fun regardless of them, that's fine. But acting oblivious to them like they aren't there and telling someone to not play or they aren't good if they complain is sad. The best record I have ever had in a 2K was in 2K21 right here. And yet, it's still very close at the bottom of my list of worst 2Ks with 2K18. You are allowed to have complaints or critiques about the game without being bad at it. If you go look at my video titled 2K25 is the worst ever, in quotations, not me saying that, I'm talking about other people talking about it, okay? You will see these comments right here. And this is just from, a few days. I think people that complain about this game every year and complain about realism are just bad at the game of basketball. Dang, you all complain so much. Maybe because you're not as good as you'd like to be at the game. The game is fun and phenomenal. It actually might be the best basketball game ever made, and the haters just suck at it. I mean, guys, most realistic game I've seen in a long time. All the losers cry. It's a hard game. Get good. Quit crying. So out of all the flaws the game has, these people automatically are just like, nope. If you're not good at the game, you're just complaining because you're not good. You have a complaint? Don't play the game. It's mind-blowing to me. This is about 5 to 10% of the 2K community. And if you're having fun on the game, you can overlook all these issues without any worry at all. That's awesome, bro. I wish I could be like you. I wish that I could get on the game and not look at these issues and feel something bad about it. You know what I'm saying? Feel like I shouldn't say it. Like I have to go out here and put this out. People got to see these issues. They got to get fixed. The reason why I started these news videos and stuff is because I wanted the game to be as good as possible. So if I get these issues out here, if I even get one thing fixed, that's something that I helped make the game be better. You know what I'm saying? Like I helped the game be a better product because I want to enjoy it at the end of the day, and I want you guys to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? So into the next topic though. Cheating and cheaters in events. We know for years now, since 2K21, especially with the Zins in 2K21, the 2K community, just like we talked about with the dexing, with the post spinning, they will do anything to win. There was people doing the close shot glitch all day. They will literally press an automatic win button if they could, like I said. Cheating in events. You can literally cheat in 2K25 in every event. There's this thing called a Titan. It's like a Zen on steroids. Now, if you guys don't know, basically, you're just going to hit X or square, and you have all these things plugged up in this program, and it's going to time the shots for you if you have your meter on. Now, not saying that anyone with meter on is cheating, but that's how they cheat with the meter, because it reads the screen and releases it at the top. It's a whole crazy process that I've interviewed someone about last year, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But 2K, this is a two-sided problem again, because why does 2K still in 2025 let you use a meter in events? That is where the absolute most cheaters are going to come out. They want the unlimited boost. They want the shirt, the jersey, the shorts that you unlock for winning the event. And 2K still lets you do it. Now, a lot of people think the shooting was made because 2K is trying so hard to prevent cheaters. It's just not. It hasn't worked. 2K needs a real anti-cheat or don't do anything at all. Because think about this. Pro-Am, Stage, Proving Grounds. That's the 3 spots in 2K25 where you cannot use a Titan because you can't use the meter in those areas, okay? Maybe there's a no meter script. Maybe, okay? Every time I say this, someone's always like, yes, there is a no meter. I've never seen proof. Show me proof. Every time someone shows me some sort of proof, it's a my court clip. My court is on Super Rookie. We all know this. I could time shots with my eyes closed in my court, right? But these 3 areas of the game, you could say, okay, just go there. Well, it's not that easy for most people. People want to play park. They want to play rec. They don't want to be forced to these modes. You know what I'm saying? Also, those modes have harder sliders, like Hall of Fame and Stage and Pro-Am and stuff like that. 95% of the 2K community plays in the park, in the theater, or the rec. A very small percentage of players care enough to go to the stage or go to Pro-Am and, find 4 other guys to play with. 95% of players are being penalized for 2K trying to fix the very small amount of cheaters. Now, there was a recent test, by the way. I just want to kind of go back to RNG from 2K Toots, and he was kind of saying that the game doesn't have RNG through a My Court test. Once again, and I really like 2K Toots. I've shouted him out many times. I just disagree with that. I completely disagree with doing a My Court test, because we know that the sliders, if you go in there, guys, what I've thought all year is that is one or two things. One, My Court either is on super rookie, or two, My Court doesn't have any RNG. That's either way it goes. That's what I've thought. Now, he's explained why he can't really do it online and stuff like that, but it is just not a test that I'm going to validate, because we've seen many from 2K Labs where they have a perfect release controller, just like I told you about with the people that are cheating that have Titans, and they still can't shoot 100%. Wide open, standing still for 5 seconds, jump shot boost, in their lethal, off legend dimer, you still can't do it. You'll have, a few games throughout the year where you do go 7 for 7, stuff like that, but you can't do it consistently. Now, I'm not saying that everybody should shoot 100%. That's not what I mean. But you shouldn't be penalized for timing your shot correctly. We've talked about this before. The best way, the most skill gap way to have shooting, like Mike Wang talked about, is to have a low green window and a pure green window. So you have less time to green your shot in the window, but it's pure, which means if you time it in that window, it's going to go in. Right? So right now, let's say that the pure green window, that the green window in 2K25 is 50 milliseconds inside of a 550 millisecond shot. That's around usually what they are, 600 milliseconds. So 50 milliseconds. You're going to hit that. You have like a 60, 70% chance. But in a real skill gapped 2K, which Mike Wing has tried to do before, by the way, and I begged them not to change it in 2K24. I'm popping up all these screenshots on the screen for you to read them as well. Is to have about let's say a 30 millisecond green window if you have a 99.3. But every time you tap in there, it's green. When you're outside of it, you miss. Okay? Now that's going to go down. If you have an 85 3-point, you're going to have let's say a 25 millisecond green window. Down to, there's got to be some sort of spot where obviously, if you have a 25-3, you still shouldn't be able to green time every shot with a small window and green them. Okay? So down to, let's say, a 60 3-pointer. And then that's where there's an RNG cap where, hey, even if you still time it right, buddy, I don't know how you did it because you might be cheating or whatever, you got to miss some of these. Cheating is rampant in 2K25. Cheating has been rampant in 2K24. I interviewed a guy that was in this cheating Discord where these people pay money, a good amount of money, to have someone set up the software for them. They buy an Elgato if they didn't have an Elgato. They buy a computer, they do all these things to cheat. And we figured out that there was approximately, just guessing, about 5,000 people cheating last year on 2K24 in this Discord. They pay $60, $70 a month, something like that, to cheat. And on top of everything else that they did if they didn't have all that stuff, plus paying people to set it up, it's nasty. This is a community issue. This is back to one of those community issues, but it's also 2K at the same time. A lot of games are experiencing cheating problems. It's not just 2K. Guys, trust me, I want to be the guy that's F you 2K on this topic, but I mean, so many games are having this issue. Now, does that give them the pass? Not necessarily. 2K is a multi-billion-dollar game. They could invest, I'm sure, if they invested enough money, they could have a much better anti-cheat. Now, I want to end this before my thoughts and stuff. Just like the outro, and because the outro is going to be really important. But microtransactions, we know this, okay? Every year, clothing is super expensive, builds are super expensive. So that's just a small thing I wanted to touch on. But here goes my thoughts on all this, okay? So, is NBA 2K dead? Now, I'm going to show you guys some numbers, okay? I put this on Twitter the other day, and this was where I went on to 2K, all right? On the left side, you guys can see 2585K. I played one game, okay? One game on a burner account, and there was about 2.5 million people because that's what my rank was. I played one game to see, obviously if I only play one game, I'm not going to be very high ranked. So there was about 2.5 million people that have played Park this year. And number two, my account on the right side is where I did the no money spent Wimby. I almost got to starter 3 in that video, about a 90 win percent. and I was ranked 676,000. So what you can take from that is, like Power said, seems to be a lot of people playing. And I said, I don't know, you could half full or half empty this. 2.5 million people played at least one game, but only about a quarter of them played a few hundred games. The Wimby account also played very little double level, 611 games in total of 2v2 and 3v3. So that's only what, 5 games a day since release? 5 games is, I don't know, 30 minutes. Only roughly 25% have played more than 30 minutes a day. Many ways you could go with these numbers. Now you also have to keep in mind, guys, that there has been 2 boosts for Rise. If you're in Rise, you've got 2 boosts so far. So you could honestly change those numbers a little bit more. Those people got put up above the Wimby account from the boost. And those boosts are huge, by the way. If you're starter 1, starter 2, you can get a massive boost. So 2.5 million people have played Park this year, approximately around that number, because I just played 1 game. But you also have to factor in that there's a good amount of people that are not affiliated. And also, of course, 2K isn't just Park. There's many online modes and offline players as well, which, we're kind of about to talk about. Okay, so let's say 3 million people have played Park so far in the year of 2K25. I believe that's a lot bigger than when I did this last year, but I don't remember exactly when the day I did it last year. That's a good amount of people, but at the same time, how long did 2K capture them? Are those players still playing? That's a whole nother topic, okay? So if you look at the sales and compare the peak of 2K, a lot of people don't know this, it's 2K20, when we were all home, stuff like that, they sold 14 million copies. But 2K went down in 2K21, 2K went down in 2K22, and then from this right here, you can see May 25th, 2023, 2K23 had sold over 11 million copies, record VC sales. Over 11 million units sold to date, a record for the series at this stage. This is in May. You still got a few months left in the cycle. I know you might not think it, but people are still buying the game. 2K puts it on sale, stuff like that. So I estimated that 2K sold about 13 to 14 million copies that year. If you go over to 2K24, if you look this up yourself, this is from May 16th. So basically the same time of the cycle for 2K23, they had sold about 9 million copies. 2 million daily users, blah, blah, blah. They use everything they can. That's if someone gets on for 1 minute. It's still, some decent stats, but they do everything they possibly can to excite their shareholders. I do believe in their earnings. They also cherry pick stuff, which we've talked about before, but that's for a whole nother topic. Okay. So you see, there has been a drop. I don't know why 2K peaked in 2K23. Honestly, not one of my favorite 2Ks of all time, but it did. That's actually when it really peaked, because you could say, hey, 2K20 sold this, an extra few million copies than it usually does because we were all home. But then that doesn't explain 2K23. That was the peak. And then literally just 1 year later, at about the exact same time in the cycle of the game, we were at about 2 million less sales. So if you look it up, and it's hard to get these numbers, by the way, if you're questioning why I don't just have these official easy numbers every year. 2K doesn't really give them away, right? 2K doesn't really give these. But if you're looking at it, 2K has gone down a bit, okay? But I believe that 2K is suffering from success. Now, you might be like, what does that even mean? 2K has done so good for so long, they don't know what to do. They really don't know what to do. Imagine you make a game, and no matter what, it's got all these issues that we could really be so deep about, which I've done, right? We can detail every issue from start to finish, and the game still sells good. It still makes more money than the last one. How do you really know what you're doing wrong or not when the game just sells good? It sells better than the next year, or it doesn't sell as much, but it makes more money, which we'll talk about in a minute. They're suffering from success. 2K, I believe, is trying. I'm not even kidding. This is almost like a conspiracy theory. I think 2K is trying to pop their own bubble. Every year, they're trying to do more and more to squeeze as much money as possible, and they still are able to accomplish that. So, how 2K can lose sales but charge more for everything is an interesting topic. So, Yes, 2K23, 11 million sales, 9 million, which that game probably, 2K24 probably ended at, let's say, 10, 11 million, since we're counting 2K23 as like 13 to 14, around that time. But they made more money off each customer. They charged more for certain things. So that's going to make them more money at the end, or, kind of close to the same. Guys, it's the only basketball game. It's the only basketball game. Now, with GTA 6, that's only, about a year or so of hype. So people are going to say, yeah, GTA 6 is going to wipe 2K26. And yeah, it's definitely going to do that. It's going to do that for basically every single game. 2K is destined to have a down year in 2K26 for sure, more down than it's been, but that's only a year or so. 2K is not dying for now, but it's very obvious they're trying to capture kids, and I know that's a weird way to say that, but capture kids like they did for most of us, and they're miserably failing. Back in the day, they got me. They probably got you when you were a kid, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but they made you fall in love with the game. How do you do that? How does 2K capture the kids that are watching all these streamers, these IRL streamers, XQC, Aiden Ross, Kai Cenat, the list goes on and on? How do they capture their attention span when they're on TikTok? How do they even get them onto the game when you have to spend the two most popular modes is My Team or Park, which requires you to put way too much money in to even see if you like the game, or spend insane amounts of hours doing no money spent, and kids just don't have the attention span for that. They're not gonna do that. Imagine back in the day, you just bought 2K, or your mom bought it for you for Christmas, and you say, hey mom, I actually need an extra $100 for this build, for these clothes. I want to get some jump shot boost, buy some animations. You'd probably get slapped. It is a very tough barrier to entry. That's what it's called, by the way. It's hard. How do you get a kid even onto the game? So what I mean is the time. How much time does 2K have left? Because, you got people that are in their 20s, their 30s. They're not playing 2K as much anymore. They got franchise fatigue. They're also now living their life. They're in college. They got a family. They got kids. They got a job to worry about, health, whatever it is. The older audience is going to slip more and more, and they can't get those kids to get into the game. So they're definitely messing up. They've tried with the the Rise Park with the robots, and they got the mech suits from 2K24 and all these. You could go on and on. Gravity Ball. I mean, we didn't even touch Gravity Ball in this video, which is pretty crazy. They're obviously failing at that. It's very obvious. Anyway, while 2K is still hanging on, everybody can see it. Most people in the community, something hasn't felt right in a while. Is it franchise fatigue? Or the games not as good as they used to be? It's safe to say that the people who are still here are the 2K community. There probably won't be much gaining players for a long time, but it seems like 2K has hit the floor of players leaving. See what I'm saying? It's the only basketball game, and servers of the old ones shut down every 2 years. So all I'll say is, if you bought 2K25, try to have fun. Switch up your playstyle if you can. I know it's hard to do that when builds cost so much, but it's really hard for me to hear anyone saying they can never have fun on the game when they've been doing the same thing for years, or jumping onto any exploit they can find to get an advantage over the opponent. If you've really tried to have fun and still can't, then I completely understand not playing as much or at all. But I also think many 2K players have forgot to just try to have fun. Obviously, many issues people have with the game is 2K's fault. I'm the first person to tell you that. But I also think lots of 2K players have gotten way too deep into overly caring about having to win every single game. I know this because that used to be me. Like I showed you guys the screenshot from 2K21. I cared so much about losing one game. It meant everything to me. Now, of course, I still do not want to lose. I'm a very competitive person. I still have a good record, but I don't like to play meta often. You guys see, my record is pretty decent this year compared to other years. And I have much more fun trying unique builds and playstyles that I can still win at a high rate on, but still have to understand when losing sometimes that it's just a game. There's no need to load back up on the absolute most meta lineup to try and never have to feel a loss. Okay, if I lose to a super meta lineup, then I lose. But if I'm on like a, you know, a unique playstyle build type of thing and I lose to someone who's not playing meta, I'm not like, no, I could have won that game if I was on a meta lineup. No, I just didn't win the game. You know what I'm saying? So guys, this is the 2K community. There's about 10 to 20 YouTubers. There's a handful of streamers that are pulling good views, that are making good money, that are able to feed their families, and, you know, like me, you know, thank you guys. Thank you so much. If you made it to the end of this video, please drop a like for me if you haven't yet. But this is it, guys. This is the views that you're going to see for the next few years, except 2K26, okay? 2K26 is going to be probably a lot different because of GTA, right? GTA is going to go crazy on every game. But you're going to see, this is the floor, or close to the floor, if that makes sense. You know, we are there, and maybe 2K just goes a little bit down the next year, a little bit down the next year. But like I said, we're definitely not gaining players, and really not losing that many at the same time. 2K, if they lose these players, which they probably are, they make it back in revenue, guys. I'm not kidding. They have a legal obligation to their shareholders and potential buyers of their company to give information about how the game is doing, how their company is doing. You guys can see this was earlier in the year, by the way. So 2K25 sold 4.5 million copies, comparable to last year's release. God, my bad. I've been doing this for 40 minutes, okay? However, the new title showed double-digit growth in average revenue per user, and the average net profit per user increased by 40%. So I think when 2K did their first earnings last year, 2K24 had sold 5 million copies. Do not quote me on that. But so you see, they lost 500,000 people, but they have double-digit growth in the average revenue per user. They're squeezing more out of the person that's still playing the game, which makes up for it. But how long is it going to make up for it? That's another question for another day. That's another topic. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end of this. I did this all in one take, so I don't know. I didn't plan it to do it this way, but we did that. Okay, thank you guys. I'm out of here. Peace.